Now, let's eat.
All right, Renfield. Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Isn't that what we've always wanted?
I am Dracula.
Okay, obviously we're dealing with a little bit more than just narcissism here.
Right, even though that's something that should be just a match made in heaven, and this movie should be hamming it up like it's no tomorrow, was it any good? Was it fun to watch? Well, I'm here to tell you, All right, first off, I just have to say there's a lot of talent behind this movie. There's some really good acting in this movie. There's really good actors in this movie. There's some good practical effects in this movie. There's some good fight choreography. However, the script for this film, I cannot believe that somebody looked at it and was like, yep, it's ready. Let's make it into a movie. There's nothing that needs to be done. It's perfect the way it is. This is a sloppy script. But before we get all into that, let's talk about some things that I did like. First off, Nicholas Hoult. I also just really love watching him get beat up. I kind of like watching attractive, unassuming men get the crap beat out of them. And not in a, oh, I hate those guys. I don't want to see you get hurt, but I kind of like it a little bit, all right? Oh, John Ralphio's in this movie. It's John Ralphio from Parks and Rec. And he's actually a really good actor. I don't think I've seen him in anything except Parks and Rec. And I was really surprised that he's actually a really good actor. Some of the fight choreography is pretty fun. There's a lot of gore in this movie. They're really going all in on the fighting. And a lot of the times it actually is really fun, especially since I really do like watching Nicholas Hoult beat people up and get beat up. But that pretty much does it for the good stuff. Let's talk about the bad stuff. So this film has some of the most lazy exposition I've ever seen in a movie. This film should literally be studied in film schools so that people know what not to do. There's also things in this film that just aren't explained very well. For example, Renfield, he's a servant, he's a familiar to Dracula, so he does all his bidding. And he's done so since like the 30s, like the 1930s, the 1920s. Renfield is extremely old, but he looks like he's 30. But he's not a vampire. Dracula never turned him into a vampire. So he's still a living person, and I think he can die. So why doesn't he age? Maybe they did explain this and I just missed it. I'm not sure. I don't think they did though. Also, another thing that didn't really make any sense to me is, so Renfield, when he eats bugs, he will gain the power of Dracula for a short amount of time. So that's interesting. Well, what if he was to eat like a rat or something? Would he get that power of Dracula for a longer amount of time? Or is it only bugs? One other thing that kind of bothered me, that's the fact that Dracula's blood can heal people. It can even bring people back to life. Even people that have been completely dismembered. And they use it to just conveniently fix certain things, which I find extremely annoying. Oh, I almost forgot. You know who's in this movie who I had no idea was in this movie? Awkwafina. Anyway, so Awkwafina, she plays a girl named Rebecca. Rebecca is a police officer, and she's pretty much trying to take down this crime family that pretty much owns this city. And this is like an integral part of this story. And it feels really weird. I do not understand why this storyline is in a movie with Nicolas Cage as Dracula. At one point, Nicolas Cage, Dracula, says he wants to dominate the world. So he teams up with the mafia family. Okay, what? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Why would he even do that? But I don't get it. And I don't care. This storyline about the cop and the mafia or whatever, they're like way more part of the story than Dracula is. It's like two different movies being combined, and they're not movies that can coexist very well together. There's just absolutely no reason for this crime family to be in this movie. I mean, you guys have Nicolas Cage playing Dracula. Use him. He's your bad guy. Stop making the story or the antagonist be this crime family. It's so, mind-boggling. This movie definitely, there's a lot of ridiculous fighting. It's all just to look really cool. I get that. I understand that. It's not trying to be completely realistic. But when you take someone like Awkwafina, who is probably 5 foot and probably weighs that of a basket of potatoes or something, and then you have her kicking, at one point she kicks over this guy who's he's just this huge guy, he's 6'3", and it just looks ridiculous, okay? Just physically, she's very unintimidating. Overall, I just feel like this movie, it's just really sloppy. But I can't help but think that if they would have just sat down and looked at the script and decided to put a little more effort into it, they could have gotten something at least a little better than this. But even Nicolas Cage, when he should have been hamming it up, anybody else could have played this role, and it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. I think that he was kind of held back by the fact that he had these prosthetic teeth in. I think that maybe that prevented him from being able to ham it up as much as he would have liked.
He's my servant.
I don't even want to say this movie had potential. I don't know. For what it is, it's whatever. I take out the crime boss family thing, though, and make it about something else. But enough about what I have to say. What did you guys think about this movie? Did you watch it? Do you want to watch it? Do you want to see Nicolas Cage not hamming it up? I still recommend you guys see it. It's still kind of fun. It's still kind of entertaining. And if anything, it's just fun to watch Nicholas Hoult get the crap beat out of him and beat others up. You can never go wrong with that. This is the Happy Critic. Just keep watching movies, guys, and stay happy. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
You're a bad man, Mr. Renfield!
Sometimes that comes in handy.